Neville Goddard, Feeling is the Secret, Chapter 2, Sleep. Sleep, the life that occupies 1/3 of our stay on earth, is the natural door into the subconscious. So, it is with sleep that we are now concerned. The conscious 2/3 of our life on earth is measured by the degree of attention we give sleep. Our understanding, now listen to that sentence. The conscious 2/3, which would be 16 hours, let's say, of our life on earth is measured by the degree of attention we give sleep. Our understanding of and delight in what sleep has to bestow will cause us, night after night, to set out for it as though we were keeping an appointment with a lover. In a dream, in a vision of the night, when deep sleep falleth upon men, in slumbering upon the bed, then he openeth the ears of men and sealeth their instruction. Job 33. It is in sleep and in prayer, a state akin to sleep, that man enters the subconscious to make his impressions and receive his instructions. In these states, the conscious and subconscious are creatively joined. The male and female become one flesh. Sleep is the time when the male or conscious mind turns from the world of sense to seek its lover or subconscious self. The subconscious, unlike the woman of the world who marries her husband to change him, has no desire to change the conscious waking state, but loves it as it is and faithfully reproduces its likeness in the outer world of form. The conditions and events of your life are your children formed from the molds of your subconscious impressions in sleep. They are made in the image and likeness of your innermost feeling, that they may reveal you to yourself. As in heaven, so on earth. As in the subconscious, so on earth. Whatever you have in consciousness as you go to sleep is the measure of your expression in the waking 2/3 of your life on earth. Nothing stops you from realizing your objective save your failure to feel that you are already that which you wish to be, or that you are already in possession of the thing sought. Your subconscious gives form to your desires only when you feel your wish fulfilled. What would be a great grade to start teaching children this, right? What would that be? Second grade? Third grade, for sure, you should already be fully versed at it. So maybe even first grade. All that is, I am God, right here in the middle. We are of Him. He created us in His image. We are each a self-concept of His. He is putting us all out there to learn for Him. We get our desires that fit our self-concept from Him, and therefore we affect our sleep with impressions. We impress ourselves by how we feel when we go to sleep. This has to be a feeling. Not only has to be, it has been our whole life. Whatever you are feeling as you fall to sleep or as you first wake up, you are impacting that subconscious of yourself. That subconscious takes it as a direct order and puts into manifestation the objective reality of what you feel. Famously said by Seth of the Seth Material, Jane Roberts and Seth Material, you create your own reality is his very much his catchphrase, just like Neville has your imagination creates reality. But with Seth's, he had a subtitle which was, you create your own reality, yes, but then he also says, by your thoughts, beliefs, and emotions. Your thoughts, beliefs, and emotions. What you believe, feeling is definitely emotion. And what you believe, you can consider that in the same camp. If you have a feeling and an emotion, and I'm going to stick to relationship here, about the opposite sex, then that is what you impress upon your subconscious. If you feel the opposite sex or the other side of the relationship you seek, let's call that the opposite sex of you, whatever you feel and you believe and you emote about that, Just the sex alone is going to go into your subconscious, and that subconscious is going to deliver you the objective experience of what you believe, of what you emotionally feel about that. But as he said before, you must forgive. And forgiving means, the word forgiving in Neville's interpretation is imagination. So when you forgive man, that means you're imagining lovingly for man. So if you feel, emote, and believe all men are good, all men are loving, caring, and nurturing, which is the truth, because all of this is his work, all of it is to learn for him, all of it is love. It's the most important thing there is love. He wouldn't give unless it was loving. So that's what we are here to learn. We're here to learn to wake up as him, to be loving. The golden rule. As you change what you impress into your subconscious, you change what you experience in your objective reality. It's going to take a while. It could take a minute. It could take a week. It could take a year. Whatever it takes. I was referring to children. When do you start teaching them this? But it's like we are children. So we need to start teaching ourselves this right now and practice it. The more we practice this understanding and using the feeling we want to experience, which we're not experiencing, but we want to experience, we impact our subconscious. We become the new objective reality. We become examples. We have the right then to not preach to our brothers and sisters, but to lead by example. Once you practice the law like this, with this understanding, you then become an example. You become a leader by example. You don't even have to say anything to anybody. This has been a truth known for every age. This truth has been known. In this age of Neville, which we've had the luxury of having with his lectures and his books, it just happens to be another version of the same thing. The same truth that's been there for a long time. How did William Blake become alive with this? And we're going to get into that in the promise later, because there's a lot of good stuff about the promise. But as Seth said in his lectures, the truth is always available. And I believe this to be one of the forms of the truth, using the law to improve your life. That's why it's there. Okay, the unconscious of sleep is the normal state of the subconscious, because all things come from within yourself. And your conception of yourself determines that which comes. You should always feel the wish fulfilled before you drop off to sleep. You never draw out of the deep of yourself that which you want. You always draw that which you are, and you are that which you feel yourself to be, as well as that which you feel as true of others. We mentioned that recently, where the stack was filled up. Your self-concept is what you're experiencing, but not only that, you're experiencing what you think of everybody else. All the concepts you think of others are here, right behind the self-concept you feel about yourself. You never draw out of the deep of yourself that which you want. You always draw that which you are, and you are that which you feel yourself to be, as well as that which you feel as true of others. You must give others the benefit of the doubt. Always imagine lovingly, and always give them a leg up. To be realized then, the wish must be resolved into the feeling of being or having or witnessing the state sought. This is accomplished by assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled, the feeling which comes in response to the question, how would I feel were my wish fulfilled? Is the feeling which should monopolize and immobilize your attention as you relax into sleep. How would I feel were my wish fulfilled? Is the feeling which should monopolize and immobilize your attention as you relax into sleep. You must be in the consciousness of being or having that which you want to be or to have before you drop off to sleep. Once asleep, man has no freedom of choice. His entire slumber is dominated by his last waking concept of self. I don't know why that reminds me. When we used to go surfing growing up, we'd be listening to the radio maybe in the morning or something. I don't know how we had the radio available, or maybe even the day before. But we'd go out surfing and it would be dominated by one song in our mind. And I would have one song on my mind, my buddy would have another song on his mind, and we'd be in the water for hours on end with this one song playing over and over and over. And I believe it was in our song, in our mind, excuse me, as we drifted to sleep the night before, because in the morning, however we got to the beach, usually wasn't radio intense. It was more either riding our bike to the beach or riding in a car together. It was more focused on just getting there and then getting in the water. But it's funny because that last song that we had the day before was just on repeat. Repeating this statement, once asleep, man has no freedom of choice. His entire slumber is dominated by his last waking concept of self. It's the same concept here we're talking about. It follows, therefore, that he should always assume the feeling of accomplishment and satisfaction before he retires in sleep. Come before me with singing and thanksgiving. Enter into his gates, and thanksgiving will into his courts with praise. Enter into his gates with thanksgiving and into his courts with praise. Your mood prior to sleep defines your state of consciousness as you enter into the presence of your everlasting lover, the subconscious. She sees you exactly as you feel yourself to be. If as you prepare for sleep, you assume and maintain the consciousness of success by feeling, I am successful. I am successful. I am successful. You must be successful. Lie flat on your back with your head on a level with your body. That means without a pillow. Feel as you would were you in possession of your wish and quietly relax into unconsciousness. Feel as you were in possession of your wish and quietly relax into unconsciousness. He that keepeth Israel shall neither slumber nor sleep. Nevertheless, he giveth his beloved sleep. The subconscious never sleeps. Very, very important statement. The subconscious never sleeps. Sleep is the door through which the conscious waking mind passes to be creatively joined to the subconscious. Sleep conceals the creative act while the objective world reveals it. Sleep conceals the creative act. Once you make that feeling impressed upon your subconscious, sleep conceals the creativity happening, the creative act, while the objective world reveals it. The objective world, which is your new reality, your old self-concept, your new self-concept. In sleep, man impresses the subconscious with his conception of himself. That conception is, I am successful. I am happily married. I am happily wealthy. I am happily healthy. I am happily full of freedom. I am successful. If in the least you say that, if it has become difficult to say, I am happily married and impress yourself here, or you feel like you're blocked, let's drop back a bit. Let's say, I am successful. I am in a happy relationship. Let's cut it back a tiny bit. It doesn't matter. Let's just play with it. You have to get some traction here. I am successful is a very, very decent place to start. You're not qualifying that statement. You're just saying, I am successful. Of course you are. You actually already are because you're already doing this already, consistently. So you're very successful at creating your own reality. What more beautiful description of this romance of the conscious and subconscious is there than that told in the Song of Solomon? By night on my bed I sought with whom my soul loveth. I found him whom my soul loveth. I held him and I would not let him go until I had brought him into my mother's house and into the chamber of her that conceived me. What a wonderful Song of Solomon. Preparing to sleep, you feel yourself into the state of the answered wish and then relax into unconsciousness. Your realized wish is he whom you seek. Your realized wish is he whom you seek. You fall into your unconsciousness with the feeling of the wish fulfilled, and it objectifies. By night on your bed, you seek the feeling of the wish fulfilled that you may take it with you into the chamber of her that conceived you, into sleep or the subconscious which gave you form. that this wish also may be given expression. This is the way to discover and conduct your wishes into the subconscious. Feel yourself in the state of the realized wish and quietly drop off to sleep. Night after night, you should assume the feeling of being, having, and witnessing that which you seek to be, possess, and see manifested. Never go to sleep feeling discouraged or dissatisfied. Never, never, never go to sleep feeling discouraged or dissatisfied. If you are one that has a habit of worrying before you fall to sleep, you are keeping yourself in a loop, in one of the most destructive loops. If you're going to sleep worried about what's in the world out here, and then your current self-concept is showing you the same, showing you the limitations that you believe exist, then you're getting caught in this infinite loop over and over and over. All you do is worry, 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 and you don't realize you're perpetuating the loop you're stuck in. Your worry, when you go to sleep, is perpetuating infinitely, over and over, the same thing you believe to be true, that the world is a limited place, that there's not enough for you. If your worry is, it doesn't matter, it's a limitation. Whatever that limitation that you are worried about, whether it's money or romance or finance, or if it's relationship or love, or if it's health, you believe that there's a limit. Because you believe somewhere, you got the impression, you put that idea of limitation into your subconscious, and now you're stuck in a loop. You look at the world, you feel your worry, you impress your subconscious, you look at the world, you feel your worry, you look at the effects, you look at the... Over and over and over. You are the only one that can stop this habit. There's a good joke. I forget what his name is. He had his own show for a while, but he's a comedian, and his show was pretty funny. But he had this joke on coaching, and all he did was he charged people this very small amount of money, and they had to pay him, but they could get no refund. And he would just yell at them for like a couple minutes and just say, "Stop it! Stop it!" And that's all he would say. They'd say their problem and what they felt and this loop they were in, and all he would say was, "Stop it!" This is, and sounds funny, but it is literally at the core of a lot of things. Habit is like a law. You think it's a law because you're just stuck there, but you don't realize that the only one that's going to pull you out of that is you. You have to realize what you're doing. You're looking at the effects of your limitations, and you're believing that they are true. So then you look in the world and you see the same thing because it's only a reflection of you. Everything is you pushed out. You look at the world, everything is you pushed out. So you see the world delivers you what you believe because you've been impressing your subconscious, and then you get stuck in this loop until you brew a new feeling about abundance, about love, about health, until you start ignoring this, closing off the senses, going within, and brewing a new feeling, I am successful. I care not what the world is trying to get me to believe or show me. That's off. I am successful. You put that feeling into your subconscious. That feeling will objectify that new reality. But it's only you that can pull yourself out of your habit. Of course, you can get the help from other people, but you have to be on that mission in the first place. But understand that it is a habit that can be changed. He is no respecter of persons. He's not here to judge if you're stuck or not. You're the one that's learning for him. He is learning through him, through her, through him, through her, through him, through her. We're all learning for all that is I am, God, him, our Father, whatever the words are that you call this. We're out here learning for our source. So, if we want to be stuck in a loop, he's not going to judge us. There is no judgment coming. Because we're given the resources, which is the desire, to keep fulfilling this same perpetuating habit over and over and over. There's nothing judging that. But if you have a desire inside of you that says, I want something else, not just this same repeated pattern, now you have someplace to work from. You have a desire. Now you know by studying this material, there's a way. There's a way to bust out of the habit and bust onto some new ground. I am successful. Night after night, you should assume the feeling of being, having, and witnessing that which you seek to be, possess, and see manifested. Never go to sleep feeling discouraged or dissatisfied. Never. Never sleep in the consciousness of failure. Never, 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 never sleep in the feeling of, never sleep in the consciousness of failure. Never. That's what revision is for, and I can't wait to get to revision. Oh my gosh, there's so much good revision. There's so much to be told in revision. Never sleep in the consciousness of failure. A fast commercial for revision. See yourself, imagine yourself doing the thing you feel a failure at as having been a successful experience if it was in that day you experienced it, or if it was in third grade. It doesn't matter. Whatever you have in your mind can be revised, especially as you're falling asleep. It's revisable. It's revisable every single night. If it's a worry and you feel bad because you crashed on your bike as a 12-year-old and your friend saw you, and that is a perpetuating repeat pattern, you feel bad because of that one experience, revise it. See yourself popping a wheelie on that bike. You didn't crash and everybody was applauding how good your skills are on the bicycle. That's revision. We're going to get into that. That's not the point right now, but it is a very good point that goes alongside with this. Never sleep in the consciousness of failure. Never. Your subconscious, whose natural state is sleep, sees you as you believe yourself to be. And whether it be good, bad, or indifferent, the subconscious will faithfully embody your belief. As you feel so, do you impress her, and she, the perfect lover, gives form to these impressions and outpictures them as the children of her beloved. You couldn't have a more perfect couple, you and your subconscious. You, the male, subconscious, the female. There is no better perfect couple. If that couple exists, which it does in each of us, then you can see that union is faithfully serving you to create your current self-concept, and you might even be stuck in a loop. That perfect union, that perfect couple, that perfect lover of yours is there ready for you to make a change through feeling. Your perfect lover will serve you the new objective reality anytime you want. It doesn't matter when you want it. Anytime you want to make a change, you change the feeling as you're falling asleep, and that objectification in your new reality will happen. Thou art all fair, my love, there is no spot in thee, is the attitude of mind to adopt before dropping off to sleep. Thou art all fair, my love, there is no spot in thee, is the attitude of mind to adopt before dropping off to sleep. Disregard appearances and feel that things are as you wish them to be. For he calleth things that are not seen as though they were, and the unseen become seen. To assume the feeling of satisfaction is to call conditions into being which will mirror satisfaction. Signs follow, they do not precede. Proof that you are will follow the consciousness that you are. It will not precede it. What follows in your objective reality will not come before you push the feeling into your subconscious. Signs will follow, they will not precede. There isn't another self-concept that pushes you. No, Your feeling is how you push this new reality into being. Signs follow, they do not precede. They're not over here pushing you. You are in charge of your feeling. You are an eternal dreamer dreaming non-eternal dreams. Your dreams take form as you assume the feeling of their reality. Do not limit yourself to the past. Knowing that nothing is possible to consciousness, begin to imagine states beyond the experience of the past. Knowing that nothing is impossible to consciousness, anything is available. Knowing that nothing is impossible to consciousness, begin to imagine states beyond the experiences of the past. It doesn't matter if these are your past self-concepts. These have no play in where you have the opportunity to go. There's people with these things called actuaries that say when you're in a zip code and you're born there, that your reality will never be more than that. There's people that say if you are from that side of the tracks, you don't go with the girls from this side of the tracks. There's so much bullshit. You need to stop accepting the past as the authority over your life. You need not worry about the past. Just because you were here, and here, that doesn't mean you can't be here, or here, or here. And these could be millionaire, billionaire, trillionaire. This could be you grew up and you were in poverty and it never changed in your household. The past has no say on what you have the opportunity to create for yourself. No say, no limitation. Knowing that nothing is impossible to consciousness, begin to imagine states beyond the experiences of the past. Whatever the mind of man can imagine, man can realize. All objective, visible states were first subjective, invisible states, and you called them into visible states by assuming the feeling of their reality. The creative process is first imagining and then believing the state imagined. Always imagine and expect the best. The world cannot change until you change your conception of it. The world cannot change until you change your conception of it. As within, so without. As within, so without. Nations as well as people are only what you believe them to be. No matter what the problem is, no matter where it is, no matter whom it concerns, you have no one to change but yourself, and you have neither opponent nor helper in bringing about the change within yourself. You have nothing to do but convince yourself of the truth of that which you desire to see manifested. As soon as you succeed in convincing yourself of the reality of the state sought, results follow to confirm your fixed belief. You never suggest to another the state which you desire to see him express. Instead, you convince yourself that he is already that which you desire him to be. Realization of your wish is accomplished by assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. You cannot fail unless you fail to convince yourself of the reality of your wish. A change of belief is confirmed by a change of expression. Every night as you drop off to sleep, feel satisfied and spotless, for your subjective lover always forms the objective world in the image and likeness of your conception of it, the conception defined by your feeling. The waking two-thirds of your life on earth ever corroborates or bears witness to your subconscious impressions. The actions and events of the day are effects. They are not causes. Free will is only freedom of choice. Choose ye this day whom ye shall serve. Free will is the only freedom of choice. Choose ye this day whom ye shall serve is your freedom to choose the kind of mood you assume. But the expression of the mood is the secret of the subconscious. The subconscious receives impressions only through the feelings of man, and in a way known only to itself, gives these impressions form and expression. The actions of man are determined by his subconscious impressions. His illusion of free will, his belief in freedom of action, is but ignorance of the causes which make him act. He thinks himself free because he has forgotten the link between himself and the event. Man awake is under compulsion to express his subconscious impressions. That is when you're fully aware of how this law works. When you're awake, man awake is under compulsion to express his subconscious impressions. If in the past he unwisely impressed himself, then let him begin to change his thought and feeling. For only as he does so will he change his world. Do not waste one moment in regret. For to think feelingly of the mistakes of the past is to reinfect yourself. Very big quote of Neville's. It should be repeated 1,000 times if you have a problem here. If this is an issue here that is keeping you in this little bit of a loop. Do not waste one moment in regret. For to think feelingly of the mistakes of the past is to reinfect yourself. Let the dead bury the dead. Turn from appearances and assume the feeling that would be yours were you already the one you wish to be. Turn from appearances and assume the feeling that would be yours were you already the one you wish to be. Feeling a state produces that state. The part you play on the world's stage is determined by your conception of yourself. By feeling your wish fulfilled and quietly relaxing into sleep, you cast yourself in a star role to be played on earth tomorrow. And while asleep, you are rehearsed and instructed in your part. The acceptance of the end automatically wields the means of realization. Make no mistake about this. If, as you prepare for sleep, you do not consciously feel yourself into the state of the answered wish, then you will take with you into the chamber of her who conceived you the sum total of the reactions and feelings of the waking day. And while asleep, you will be instructed in the manner to which they will be expressed tomorrow. You will rise believing that you are a free agent, not realizing that every action and event of the day is predetermined by your concept of yourself as you fell asleep. Your only freedom then is your freedom of reaction. Remember, each day you are experiencing is a reflection of your previous evening. When you went to sleep, whatever you felt about your self-concept or felt about yourself is what you're experiencing. It doesn't matter what it is. So basically what you're experiencing in your current reality in your day right now is literally you living in your own past. Your past belief about your self-concept, about yourself. You're experiencing the shadow of what you believed when you went to sleep. So it behooves of you to change the feeling if in fact you want to change where you are. Whatever you believe about yourself last night when you fell asleep is what you're experiencing today. So today, being the shadow, the three-dimensional shadow of your four-dimensional experience, this is actually a reflection of your past. Since this 3D is past, that means that shadow right there is also the past. It looks like it's in the present, doesn't it? Your 3D self is the past. It's what you believed last night when you fell asleep. What you felt about your self-concept as you went to sleep, that's what was objectified. And that is what you're experiencing. And if you're stuck in a loop, at least you know now what you must change is your feeling about your self-concept. Is it one of limitation? Or is it feeling myself in the wish fulfilled? How does it feel now that I am in complete abundance, in relationship, in wealth, in health? Your only freedom then is your freedom of reaction. You are free to choose how you feel and react to the day's drama. But the drama, the actions, events, and circumstances of the day have already been determined. See, reaction, because if in your current day you're only reacting to your past, then your only freedom then is the freedom of reaction. You are free to choose how you feel and react to the day's drama. If in fact here I am wealthy, I feel wealthy and I feel the success of it, and I wake up and my bank account says something else, you must react as if it is full. You must react as if you're not concerned about the price of things, of an object you need to purchase for whatever reason. You're not concerned because you know more abundance is within you. Your only freedom then is your freedom of reaction. You are free to choose how you feel and react to the day's drama, but the drama, The actions, events, and circumstances of the day have already been determined by you, in fact. Unless you consciously and purposely define the attitude of mind with which you go to sleep, you unconsciously go to sleep in the composite attitude of mind made up of all feelings and reactions of the day. Unless you consciously and purposely, unless you consciously and purposely define the attitude of mind with which you go to sleep, you unconsciously go to sleep in the composite attitude of mind made up of the feelings and reactions of the day. It's like saying, okay, I woke up and my reality is such, it's the same thing I had yesterday. So you're in this loop. Your day is literally, you see the same thing in the world, you believe the same thing about yourself, and then you wake up and experience it. And this reaction, this is here you reacting to what you believe in the first place. And then you see the world and it causes the same reaction within you to feel the same way. Then you go through the next day and you just repeat it. Have you seen Groundhog Day? If you haven't, it's a wonderful movie. Another doozy with a curveball message like that is Palm Springs, I believe. Groundhog Day is the better one. Unless you consciously and purposely define the attitude of mind with which you go to sleep, you unconsciously go to sleep in the composite attitude of mind made up of all the feelings and reactions of the day. Every reaction makes a subconscious impression, and unless counteracted by an opposite and more dominant feeling, is the cause of future action. It's that loop. You're reacting to the reality, the composite reality you believe, and then your belief goes over here and puts the same feeling. You look at the world, it gives you exactly what you think is there, and that loop just goes over and over and over. You experience and you react and you believe and you impress. You look at the world and you believe and impress. You go to sleep, you wake up. Groundhog Day. You have to break the cycle. You have to break the habit. You have to start impressing, I am successful. You have to stop it. The sentence is wonderful. Every reaction makes a subconscious impression. Every reaction. If you find yourself reacting emotionally to something, that is making a subconscious impression. And unless counteracted by an opposite and more dominant feeling, is the cause of future action. Ideas enveloped in feeling are creative action. Ideas enveloped in feeling is the cause of future action. I mentioned earlier the Seth material. You create your own reality by your thoughts, beliefs, and emotions. That's saying the same thing. Ideas enveloped in feeling are creative actions. Use your divine right wisely. Through your ability to think and feel, you have dominion over all creation. That should be a million exclamation points in your ears right now. Through your ability to think and feel, you have dominion over all creation. Anything you're experiencing, any self-concept, you have dominion over because of your ability to think and feel. You're the one in charge of your subconscious. Even though you're living in the world of effect, which is your 3D reality, your conscious waking reality, you have one key that gives you the ability to change the 3D reality, your waking world, the world of effects, is by affecting the world of cause, which is your subconscious, by going to sleep with the feeling of success. This is the key. While you are awake, you are a gardener selecting seed for your garden. But except a corn of wheat fall into the ground and die, it abideth alone, but if it die, it bringeth forth much fruit. Your conception of yourself as you fall asleep is the seed you drop into the ground of the subconscious. Dropping off to sleep feeling satisfied and happy compels conditions and events to appear in your world which confirm these attitudes of mind. I don't know why there was a movie, it won't leave my mind right now, but it was There was a movie called, I think it was called Billy Budd. He was a sailor. He was on a ship. He was a very simple-minded person, young, simple-minded person. The captain was very ornery and very mean. And this one comment was made about the slop they were eating, known as the soup. And it was presented to Billy Budd, who was always full of enthusiasm and had a very positive spirit, of which we're trying to brew up right here. And all this negativity existed in the other sailors aboard this ship, and this very ruthless captain, and I forget the era, this might be the 1800s maybe, but it was brought to Billy's attention that the food was just the worst thing you could eat. And Billy Budd's optimism, he just had the reaction of, he simply stated, yeah, but it's hot and there's plenty of it. And that is the attitude of mind to have. One person's negative is your opportunity to be positive. And then if you go to sleep in that positive attitude, the soup is hot and there's plenty of it, versus the other one saying there's not enough protein in the soup, or whatever the limited idea was in that other negative sailor. If you're staying in the optimism, then you're going to take that impression to sleep. Look at how much abundance is in the world. There is an infinite supply, because, especially that you know now, it is all consciousness. All of this is consciousness. You are creating it. You have been created by Him. I and my Father are one. My Father is greater than I. I am consciousness of that which my Father is consciousness. All of this is consciousness. My self-concept is consciousness. If I want a different self-concept, that's just a different form of consciousness. If I want a different form of consciousness, if this one is in poverty, this one is in wealth, it's just a different form of consciousness. There's a study regarding wealth. A lottery winner won something like, I don't know, it was 315 million. I forget the guy's name, is maybe Jake or something like this. Whitaker, I think is the name. Don't hold me to that. But he never developed the mindset of abundance from the story. The story is very tragic, but the lottery winner with the 315 million, he never changed his consciousness. He accepted the check. People in his life died, two people, in fact. And before he knew it, he was penniless again, and his regret was looking back. He died at age 72, but looking back on the whole experience, he said he wished he would have tore the ticket up. His granddaughter was negatively impacted by the money, became hooked on drugs, and then was just fueling her friends with money, because this grandfather would give her money and she would go try to make her friends happy with the money. The consciousness of these people, of this man, he did not change. So he was in a loop of limitation. His world of limitation was in this loop over and over and over. Even though you handed the man 315 million, he didn't change his consciousness, so his experience changes. So he would fritter away the money. He'd go to the strip club and he'd take $50,000 inside to the strip club and want to spend it right there. And then another story is he was bragging about $500,000 in a briefcase on the seat of his car. People heard that, they went and they broke the window and took the $500K out of the car. This consciousness of the man was not being judged by his creator. Why should the creator judge his consciousness? He's doing the work of realizing for him. He is in his loop over and over. He's got a limited consciousness about money. Then he experiences that in the daytime, then he experiences it in the nighttime, and over and over and over. This loop goes over and over and over. And no matter if he had 315 million or 1 billion, it didn't matter. He was going to fritter it away in the way he did it. And it's not a fun story if you look it up, but it is a story. And it is a story. When I saw it, I realized that if the man, the wonderful man, we're all God, we're all brothers and sisters. But if he didn't change his consciousness to go with that new reward, something got him the ticket that won that lottery. That is a very good point. Okay, so that's a point where he impressed into his subconscious the winning of that. But he didn't change his consciousness on the possession of it. The possession of it, he fell back and looked back like Lot's wife on his previous. He was enough to impress himself to win the ticket. But then when he looked back on his past and thought, okay, I only come from this zip code, and I can only do these things, and I can go to the strip club and do that and be whatever in that reality, He lives one of limitation over and over. He didn't go to the abundance route with the newfound wealth. He stayed in the old mindset, and he was in a negative loop. I say negative, it doesn't matter. It was fulfilling to him. But again, on his end of his life, he regretted the ticket. He said he wished he would have tore it up. He lost his granddaughter to the effect of the money, the way he used the money, all right? And I think it was his another person close to him, either sister or wife. I forget the details of the story, but it's one story of many that is about consciousness. This is all about consciousness. Everything is consciousness. We can change our consciousness anytime we make an impression onto our subconscious. Our conscious waking state will change to follow suit. Sleep is the door into heaven. What you take in as a feeling, you bring out as a condition, action, or object in space. So sleep in the feeling of the wish fulfilled. As in consciousness, so on earth. As in consciousness, so on earth. What a wonderful chapter. Oh my gosh. Feeling is the secret, and it really is. Sleep, chapter 2. I really do hope you got something out of that. If you did, leave a comment. No worries if you don't. We'll talk about it later. We'll catch up, of course, but this is wonderful, wonderful stuff. We'll see you in the next chapter.